Everyone, I'm here with my November wrap up, and I read a total of 16 books. I was hoping I would read 20, but I didn't. I got a little lazy, so yeah. I'm gonna show you the ebooks that I read first. So the first one is Conspiracy of Blood and Smoke by Anne Blankman, and this is the second book. The first one is Prisoner of Night and Fog, and this is about Hitler's non-biological niece, and she tries to conspire against him, and she realizes how evil he really is in this one. And I just have to say that this book is really intense at times. There are some moments where I had to like put the book down just because it was a little too realistic for me. There are points in the book that actually happened in history, so take note of that. Really enjoyed her writing. She writes historical really well. She does a lot of extensive research, and I am always going to be looking forward to Anne's future works. I gave this one a 4 out of 5. The next book is Faking Normal by Courtney C. Stevens, and everyone was hyping this book up, and when I was reading it I realized they were right. I really enjoyed this one. This one is a contemporary about rape, so we don't actually know what happens within this whole like story. She doesn't know who, she doesn't tell us who it is. So the whole time we're just wondering, is it this person? Is it this person? Is it this person? Like I basically didn't trust anyone but her. And I really enjoyed it. It was so like, it was a unique experience just because I've never been in that position, and you are really placed in the character's point of view, and I loved it so much. I gave this one a 5 out of 5. I think everyone should read it. It is highly underrated. Next one is The Casquette Girls by Alys, Arden. Now this one, I didn't know much about it. It is actually an indie book, and it is about a girl who comes back to New Orleans, and she tries to get her life back, but it's really hard. She can't go to her high school because it's closed down from the hurricane, and she ends up going to this private school where people she doesn't know, and they don't like her very much. And then she realizes that there are like things that are happening out of her control. She can move things with her mind, so she has like this telekinesis power, and she doesn't know why. And she goes through this whole journey, and I thought it was written really well. It was just so long, and I just really wanted to know more. I gave this one a 3 out of 5. The next book is Just Like the Movies by Kelly Fiore, and this one was so cute. I didn't know if I was gonna actually like it. Sounds like it's such a cliche, but I was highly surprised that it wasn't. It's, you know, judging from the cover, it should be about a relationship, and it is, but it's not what it seems. It's not like an actual romance. Two teenage girls, completely different from the other, want to live their life like the people in movies. So they use a guide kind of thing where they try to like mimic scenes for movies, and I thought it was really cute, but it wasn't the whole focus. As you can tell, it's like that title, but it wasn't surprisingly just about romance. It was really about the friendship, and I really loved it. So I gave this one a 4 out of 5. The next one is The Butterfly Clues by Kate Ellison. Now this one looks like it's a thriller. So our main character ends up wandering on her route home on the bus. She ends up going all the way to the line, and she ends up in a place called Neverland. She ends up walking around, and she somehow finds herself hearing gunshots, and it kind of looks like she is also a witness to a murder, and everything just unravels from there. She realizes how important this murder is to her, and the little twist in the end, I did predict it, but it was still quite sad as to why all that transpired. The writing was really unique. It's very like I don't want to say poetic, but it's poetic, and at the same time it has that tone of like, oh my god, is this girl like actually within, you know, is she sane? I don't know. She was like a little unhinged, but I think that was the whole point because of her brother's death. I give this one a 3 out of 5. This is SKYLARK by Meagan Spooner. So SKYLARK starts off rather interesting because as soon as that scene unfolded, I was like gripped from the beginning. But throughout the whole story, I ended up like getting really bored at some points. Sometimes dystopians can be rather repetitive, so I did like it, but I also didn't like it so much. There is always that same goal, you know, trying to get out of her dystopian community, and that was her goal. But I don't know, I didn't really like the romance, and the one thing that I did like were the little robots that were like fairies. It was really interesting. I thought that was really different. I give this one a 3 out of 5. Last book that I read is Second Star by Alyssa B. Sheinmel. Now this one is actually a book that is based on Peter Pan. So they have the same names. There's Wendy, there's Peter, there's John, and I believe it's Michael. So Wendy goes on this quest to find her brothers because she believes they are still alive when everyone else believes they are dead. And she finds these group of servers, and lo and behold, it is actually Peter Pan. It's not actually Pan in the book, but his name is Peter, and it has like one of those instant love attractions that I've always like detested. I just didn't really care for it. There are some instances where I was like, okay, this is completely different from Wendy. Wendy would not do stuff like this. She ends up in a rather bad place. And for some reason there was another boy, so it ended up being a love triangle, and I was like, what the hell? So I gave this one, unfortunately, 2 out of 5 stars. So as part of the anti-bully read-along, and I read about 3 out of 4 of my books because I couldn't shove in the other one because I had a review book. So I read Fat Angie by, oh gosh, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce her name, but it's right there. And Angie believes that her sister, who is also a soldier in the Iraq War, is still alive, but everyone else believes she's not. And she loves her sister so much. She's her idol, and the fact that she's gone, she can't exactly let go of that reason. So she ends up following in the footsteps of her sister and joining for the basketball team. So she ends up being part of the team, and I thought it was a really realistic read. I found the fact that she wanted to turn something negative into something positive. People in this book are crazy. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, they're just so mean, and it's scarring and terrible, and you feel all her feels, and I just couldn't. It was hard to read. I gave this one a 3 out of 5. Book I read for the anti-bully read-along is Speak by Laurie Hills Anderson. I'm sorry I said Lauren. But this one has been getting a lot of amazing reviews, and when I finished it, I was like, okay, I don't know. It's not as great as everyone was saying. They hyped it up a bit too much, I'm guessing. It was good, but it wasn't like epic. The writing is probably why everyone liked it so much. She really gets into her character. It's like she's writing her diary, and I felt it was rather boring and long. And most of the things that she was saying, it was mostly like daily life stuff, and I hate that. I just get really bored with that. But yeah, I give this one a 3 out of 5. Bonus points for the amazing writing though. The next book I read is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire. Okay, it's Spanish and I can't pronounce it. It's right there. This book is, I want to say, a hyped one as well, but the fact that it was hyped, I still had a high expectations, but they were met. This book is so cute. It is also an LGBT. It is so good. It's like one of those books where you want to read in school. It's a coming of age story. It's also very, very romantic and funny, and a lot of just trying to find yourself. And oh, it was so good. It was also a lot about friendship and family, and I can see why it won an award. I give this one, I think, is it a 4 or a 5? I think it was a 4. Or maybe it was 5. I don't remember. But it was so cute. And you know me, I don't like contemporaries, but this one is so good. And look at that cover. It's so pretty. The next book I read is The Body in the Woods by April Henry. This is a murder mystery novel, and a group of volunteer teens go into the woods to try to find a missing person. They are part of this group of people who try to find missing people, or, you know, people who are in trouble. And this group of teens find a dead body in the woods, literally. And it just goes through that, you know, trying to find who the killer is. But it wasn't very, very twisty and turny. It was really predictable and straightforward. If you like that kind of stuff, check it out. I gave this one a 3 out of 5. This is The Vault of Dreamers by Carrie M. O'Brien. She also wrote the Birthmark trilogy. I believe that's a dystopian. This one also had a little bit of dystopian, but it really wasn't, I want to say. What can I say about this one? It's Rosie Sinclair, and she is part of this boarding school where she gets accepted. And this boarding school is part of this reality show where they follow all the students who are part of this art program, follow their lives and their drama and all that stuff. So the thing is, in that world, they get points. So when people are focusing on that person, they get bumped up their ranking, and the people who are the top 50 stay in the school, and the rest of the students get cut, so they get left off. And she finds herself in this position, and the first part of this book is about that, and I really enjoyed it. But after that, she finds out the school isn't exactly what they seem to be, and it turns into this like really like mystery where she's trying to find what's going on. She becomes quite obsessed with this boy, and I didn't really like the romance in it. It was just a little bit too heavy for me. I gave this one a 3 out of 5. And I read this one. This is probably one of my most anticipated reads, and The Retribution of DYER. I don't know if anyone else has read it, but oh my god. It finally ended, and we finally find out what happens, and there was a lot of things to go through. I really wanted to do a spoiler review of this one, but I kind of don't want to remember what happened. But she finally answers all of the things that were happening, especially her powers, and there was this whole explanation, and I kind of got confused about it just because it was all like science and science talk. But the mystery of that certain character is in this book. I'm not gonna say anything, but yes, I gave this one a 5 out of 5. Michelle Hodkin, I love your chemistry between your characters. Amazing. I read KINSLAYER by Jay Kristoff in time for the blog tour because I completely forgot about it, but I read this one, and oh my god, I just have to say I love the animals in this book. There are griffin, tiger, thunder tigers in this book, and oh, so good. The bad guy in this one is her ex-boyfriend, so it ends up being problematic, and she lives in this crazy dystopian world where people use other like slaves or foreigners and kill them, use their blood to give these lotuses life. It's really crazy, but it's also a steampunk Japanese novel. There is a lot to go through. There's a glossary in the back because he uses a lot of words and metaphors that we don't know. They're Japanese. So he has this huge glossary in the back. And I also have to say that fantasy books, there's a ton of characters. So this list of characters really saves my life. And I love that title. But yeah, this book is brutal. I mean, slaying and violent, and it was just so, oh, it's so crazy. I give this one a 5 out of 5. Next book is ENDSINGER, and this is the last one of the Lotus War. And as you can see, there is Buru, that's his leg. So we find a lot more about Buru and his history in this one. There's a lot more focus on other characters other than Yukiko. Wait, is that how you pronounce it? Yukiko. I'm sorry, I don't know Japanese. But the main character, she isn't the main focus on this one. I was kind of upset about that, but I forgave Jay because he finally ended it, and the war was there and everything ended up, yeah. I want to say that ending, tear. Clearly just a tear. No. I give this one a 5 out of 5. This is a graphic novel of A Wrinkle in Time, and I read this before Interstellar, before I watched Interstellar, and cleared up a lot of things because that movie was really confusing. And if you know what I was saying, they actually say stuff about it in this book because there's a lot of like space talk. It is set in space, and I found parallels between that movie and this one as well because they're both trying to find a mission, and it was just a little like too similar, but whatever. It was Christopher Nolan, and he is really excellent at writing stories. But I'm getting off topic. This one was a really cute one. I think if you read this one, you'll still be confused. I believe A Wrinkle in Time explains a lot more than just showing, because you're really in the mindset. You only see the characters and their expressions. You don't actually read about it. So I suggest reading both if you like it. And I gave this one a 5 out of 5. That's it for me for this time. I hope you guys read all of the amazing books in November. Let me know what you read and if I should add any more to my pile. Till next time, bye guys.